All right, so today is a little bit different of a video. I am doing an interview with Matthew oh boy, I'm gonna butcher it. Matthew Zaremski. Close. Zaremski. Matthew Zaremski. Matthew is the creator and founder of the character or clown Cabbages the Birthday Clown. We're just gonna do an interview because, oh man, there's just so much good stuff about what you've been doing over the past, I would say, year and a half, maybe?
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a year. May 24th is when I decided to officially create Cabbages as an available character to the internet.
What did you do before May 24th or 20? What was the date again? Sorry, I just forgot it.
I say May 24th.
May 24th.
Yeah, May 24th was like a really important day for Cabbages to be born. It was also a friend of mine, Ridiculous Nicholas's birthday. So his birthday was May 24th, and we're gonna rewind. I'll start right around there. A friend of mine, her name's Madeline, her birthday was right around that date, and another friend of mine, their birthday was around that date, and I made Cabbages videos for them before I officially decided to allow Cabbages to be an Instagram and
Sensation.
other platforms. Sensation.
Instagram sensation for sure. So you started Cabbages around May 24th. I actually looked at a couple of your like first videos. Happy birthday to you. And you didn't necessarily do any of the voices yet in those videos. Those kind of were added. I would say like 5 videos later.
Cabbages, what are you doing? It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm eating cookies! It's somebody's birthday somewhere!
It really didn't take you long to like, oh yeah, I could just put some different voices in here.
So when I first made the couple videos to start, I was toying with the voices and I wasn't sure if I should do them for the friends that I originally created these videos for, because I wasn't sure if that was the aesthetic that they wanted for their birthday. Mm-hmm. My friend Madeline, when the first video is up there, I do like almost a normal voice. I'm like, happy birthday to you. Yep. Happy birthday to you. It's sort of like that. And then 3 or 4 videos, and it's like, that's Nick's video. And Ridiculous Nicholas's video is the smoker voice. Because I was like, he'll love the smoker voice. It's Nick Polini. Those voices all kind of like came from different inspirations for me. And one of the goofiest inspirations for me of like being a clown and coming into clowning was Mickey Mouse. I grew up as like a little kid like watching Mickey Mouse, mm-hmm. and even as a cartoon, like seeing that goofy like, hey everybody, kind of, I love that voice. There's something about it, and it grabbed me as a kid. And there is this Mickey Mouse episode where he fights a giant and the giant rolls him up in a big old joint and smokes him. He's like, oh, smoke. So when I saw that as a kid, I loved it. And then Mickey Mouse beats the giant, so it's like a heroic like story. And talking about like mentors, I never had any mentors. Mm-hmm. I never had anybody teach me any of the things that I learned other than YouTube and watching other characters.
Yeah.
Like cartoon characters and no joke, Krusty the Clown.
Kids, who do you love? Daddy! What would you do if I went off the air?
We kill ourselves!
Dude, I freaking wrote Krusty the Clown on my... Oh, wait, no, you wrote it because you filled out the... I was reading this being like, wow, I called it. And then I was like, oh, wait, you wrote it, okay.
But you thought it, though.
My mistake. Yeah, I did think Krusty, though.
So that kind of came from Krusty, and one of my other like big like not mentors, but people who I looked up to that kind of really got me into juggling. And so this is like what ties into your original question, like how did it all kind of start? I was 15 years old and I turned on the TV and I saw a clown. I can't find him on the internet. I've tried to look for him. He was sitting down and he was doing the yo-yo. I went to school that day and the first class or second class was PE, and in PE they taught us how to juggle. So
wow.
Yeah, it was a synchronicity, and I was like, wow, this is really weird. And I was like, I have to learn. On my last class, and this is like, at this time in my life, I was never really going to school regularly. I was skipping school a lot, and I was in a crazy like personal situation, and I was just a troubled youth. And when I got to this last class, I hadn't been there almost ever, and it was a sociology class. They didn't even know that I was on the roster, and I felt really weird when I was there. And the teacher was like, "Oh, Matthew Zaremski, who are you?" And I was like, I am in this class. And he was just kind of like, "Okay, well, today we're gonna learn about juggling."
What?
What?
In a sociology class? That's amazing.
So they should teach it in sociology how juggling can increase sociological behavior between people.
Did you say you wanted to go back? I did want to ask, what are your favorite like clowns or eccentric performers?
All right, so that's what I was going to kind of talk about anyway.
Yeah.
And around that time when I got out of school and I had started learning juggling and had that crazy synchronicity of 3 juggling events in the same day to teach me how to juggle, I knew it was like a destiny for me. And I had a lot of friends that were like real close to me at the time, but they were getting into trouble, and they were still around and supported me, and I stopped getting into trouble and started juggling really hard. I was like, yo, there's something about this, I have to like just do this, and it helped me get out of trouble. And once juggling hit, that was it. It was like, I don't know why, but everything's kind of coming together. And this dude that I found on I don't know if it was YouTube or what at the time, because this was 2005, I think, and I want to say I had dial-up at the house. Yeah. And it was hard to find juggling videos. They didn't really exist like on the internet. There was some, and there was like 2 in particular that really hit, and one really got me, and it was from this dude Tim Kelly. And Tim Kelly is a famous footbagger and juggler. He's on the same list as Nick Polini on like the famous footbaggers of like the world or something. He was like rated, I think Nick was 2017. This dude was like 2000 in like 4 or 5 or something, around that same time that I saw his video on dial-up. It was like a pixelated Tim Kelly doing crazy juggling tricks. It was 3-ball tricks. It's still up there. It's called Tim Kelly All Tricks. That video took me to another level, and when I saw that as a kid, I started looking into other like performers and stuff, and my other like really big clown sort of people besides Krusty the Clown was Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin to me was a character clown. Totally, of course, like a stuntman and a performer, a street like kind of dude, and for his time, in my opinion, like way ahead of his time for the things he was doing, and along with Buster Keaton. Keaton was my other favorite.
Pioneered, I would say, physical comedy on a 2D screen.
Away by some of the stuff that I see them do, and their stunts with what they had to use back in the day, they could have just died on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Like Buster Keaton has this really famous one where he falls off a building and he like hits through, like he goes through like an awning and like another thing and like falls onto like padding on the bottom, but it's all just like boom, 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 boom. And that's real. This dude like really got hurt doing these crazy stunts. But along with him, there's another gentleman, Paul Cinquevelli, who's like one of like the oldest sort of known jugglers that we have like pictures and stuff of. I forget the dates behind him, but when I looked him up way back in the day when I was a kid, I saw him. He would have a smaller dude sitting on a desk, and he would have that dude balancing on his chin. And so it would be a man sitting on a desk, and the chair would point of the chair would be on his chin.
Oh,
and the man in the air with a desk, and he'd be reading a newspaper. And this dude would be juggling while this man is on his chin. I mean, and the pictures they're drawn pictures, but they're like, and there's like written accounts of these things happening. But to read about that when you're 15 years old and you saw this crazy synchronicity, like, and you just like are absolved in juggling, and you're like, this is what I want to do. And you read that because there's no like Instagram, MySpace didn't even exist. And like I read that and was like, humans can do that? Like, what? How do I do that?
My cabbages!
How did you choose the name Cabbages?
Besides juggling, I was a line cook. I've been a barista. I've done a whole bunch of stuff in the restaurant industry, and anyone that works in a service industry, that works in some type of like environment that is high volume, to say the least, where you are dealing with 1,000 to thousands of humans a day, it gets tough. You know, you gotta like make it through. I personally, as a clown, I have a natural instinct to be funny and like just joke and make things like and laugh and be like and laugh at customers. And man, I would say some stuff to customers sometimes. Really good at heckling. That picking fun and teasing and that kind of thing was how we made it through the day. And one of the things that we used in place of curse words was the word cabbages. So you would go to make someone a drink, and they're, you know, you're a barista, and you're like, and you're like, and they're standing like right here watching you, and they say something rude, and you go, yes, of course. And then you like do their thing, and you're like, here you go, cabbages. And they're just you call them cabbages, you tell them cabbages, you say the word cabbages like 5 times while you're just, they ask you a question and you respond with cabbages. Say, how's your day going? Cabbages. So like I was also juggling in the sculpture garden that surrounded the museum. I was doing like street performances in DC, and it was so fun. I got in trouble here and there. It was just like, move along, sir. I was out there juggling all the time, and we were using the cabbages as a joke, and people were saying, oh yeah, you're juggling out there. Yeah, Mr. Cabbages. And then, because I said cabbages all the time, along with a couple other people, and they started calling me, yeah, Cabbages the Clown. And I started joking, being like, yeah, I'm Cabbages the Clown. And I was like, damn, that's a good clown name. Doesn't have much to do with my name being Cabbages, but it was sort of like out there juggling on the National Mall. And one of the big fun ones was a huge amount of kids from, I think they were from South Korea. Everyone had their phones out and they were taking pictures, and I said, I'm Cabbages the Clown, and everyone's taking pictures. I stopped the show, and I was like laughing and making jokes. I stopped the show and I was like, it's $5 a picture. And everyone was like, oh, and they put their phones down. And they were like, I started laughing. I was like, it's $5 a video. And they started putting their phones down. And the teachers were like, put the phones down. And I was like, I'm just kidding. And they all started laughing. And but it was so fun for me to see everybody like freak out. It was like 100 people like, put the phones away.
has your clowning / business been affected by the pandemic?
Without the pandemic, Cabbages the Birthday Clown probably wouldn't exist. It was so beautiful to see how awesome Cabbages affected people and made people smile and like tell me in the DMs like, this means so much to me. Like, I'm just like a person. I didn't even get the birthday video, and just seeing it made me feel good. Like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, thank you so much for doing this. And I started just getting DMs about what I was doing, and I was like, I can't stop. Like, I just got to keep it doing this. And I had already had really intense experiences that led me up to becoming Cabbages anyway.
What I love about the way you have set up your Instagram is that there's a lot of personal choice. It's like you get to customize like what you're gonna wear, what type of voice you're gonna do, what type of act. You are a great clown. I think you are also a great entrepreneur, because I've never seen that done before.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm curious to ask like how much Cabbages makes from Cabbages.
So Cabbages makes it's really random. Some weeks it's really good, and some weeks it's like I'll make like 10 to $75 or something. Because some of my videos I don't charge much for. About like what you were mentioning about Cabbages is like you can customize what kind of video you want. I've just dedicated so much into really trying to figure out what's going to work best for the customer and why Cabbages is special for people. So like if you only have $5 but you want a birthday video for yourself or for your friend or your whoever, you can hit me up and say like, I only have $5 and could you make me a video? And it will be a simple happy birthday video. And then it goes up. Like anything that you're asking, the more you're asking of Cabbages to do, the more Cabbages is gonna ask for tip. I mean, holla at your boy, hook it up.
I have a quick question. Does Cabbages have an OnlyFans?
So Cabbages has been asked this question by quite a few humans.
That means there's a market there. That's what that means.
If Cabbages does do the OnlyFans Cabbages page, it's going to be like access to special Cabbages videos that maybe are more explicit and more adult than what we would post on Instagram. And that's
fair, you know?
And then that's what you're paying for. And or like Cabbages maybe would do some super sexy videos. I don't know.
What is like the best sort of fan mail that you've gotten?
Oh, okay. Yeah, fan mail has been really interesting. Like one of the people that won one of the Cabbages giveaways had sent Cabbages a Christmas card, and it was with like, it had a bunch of stickers and stuff in it. It was so cute. It was so sweet. And it just like, it was like a happy holidays card, and it was just so sweet. It really like touched my heart. Thank you, Tabby. One of the coolest things that I got were these, they're up here on the cabbage wall now. They're paintings of cabbages that were done by a cabbage fan named Vanna.
Wow. Oh my goodness. What is it made with?
So
is it like dot paintings?
Yeah, as an individual piece of paint. It was done with paint.
Kind of like mandalas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
And it was done on the glass. So it's got like sort of a reflection from the sheet of paper that's behind it.
Oh, wow. It does. Oh, man. Yeah, it kind of looks like metal almost. That's really cool.
So she did this one and this one.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
Oh, my camera's turned around, so I think you can see. So sweet. So she sent me those and a bunch of stickers and stuff, and I was just so like blown away. It was so beautiful. I made a video on the Cabbages Instagram about it.
If you wanted to expand or get like tons of followers, if you were able to get like, I don't know, one Mariah Carey or Oprah or something, that would just skyrocket your industry. You'd get like a ton of requests after that.
I thought about it. I was like, man, I need to start making these videos.
You'd have to start like you gotta get some more people who can not play cabbages, but like, I don't know, make another guy like potatoes or something, and then you just have like a band of like vegetable themed birthday clowns.
My partner has done a video for me for my birthday last year as Radishes the Clown.
Whoa. And
Radishes is a love clown, and they wear like little hearts and and slick back hair and like a pink top to white bottom,
yeah.
And it was like really dope, and they like sung me happy birthday and did like this video that like was extremely heartfelt for Cabbages, and like just seeing them like embody radishes, I was like, this could be something amazing. And like in the future, Cabbages, I'm currently working on the Cabbages business licensing for in-person telegrams in Richmond, Virginia.
Nice.
And my dream is to maybe eventually have a fleet of clowns.
Sign me up, man.
Other clowns.
Sign me up. I would love to do it.
All around, yes.
I would listen. I'm gonna come to Richmond, Virginia. I'm gonna come to Richmond, Virginia, and I will be at your doorstep with a freaking cabbage, and you can either accept it or you could be like, "Come back next birthday," and you could have a workshop. Say, Cabbages is teaching how to become a Cabbage's birthday clown.
How to become a telegram clown. And
right.
Actually, like part of what I want to do when I officially create the Cabbages business is really try to push for an education program where I teach juggling, clowning, and or the art of cabbage.
Yeah.
And it is like doing telegrams and doing what Cabbages does is not exactly what a traditional clown does. A lot of traditional clowns are in a circus. They don't necessarily talk.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of pantomime, and they have the face paint because you're looking at them from afar. Cabbages is an in-person, like if you're watching Cabbages online, you're seeing Cabbages up close because you're down here. So you can see Cabbages, you can see my facial expressions, you can see the things that are going on in the background. And so Cabbages has to be much more attentive to the acting side of clowning, along with the traditional side of the circus act. Comes along charisma and the way you deliver a joke and the things that you do to make a scene look proper. Yeah, I gotta tell you, like, not having mentors or teachers, I had experiences that were what led me to really embody Cabbages. And this is something that I was sort of going to talk about before, and now I feel like it's appropriate. So not having mentors and not having teachers, as someone that loves the art of juggling and loves flow arts, and also loves acting and the creative side of that, I was not in any way, shape, or form thinking that I was going to do this professionally for the rest of my life. I was traveling across the United States, and I was by myself. I was moving across the United States, and I was going to live in Los Angeles, California. Well, it didn't work out, and on the way, I was camping along the way throughout my trip, and I was by myself, and I got into a crazy storm in Texas, and I was so scared, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. So I was like, I gotta get out of Texas. So I drove to New Mexico, and I just got to a campsite, and it was really dark. And I was trying to look on my phone, but I had no signal, and I saw this on the maps. It was this place, Lake Conches. So I was like, oh man, that lake looks cool. It's the only lake around New Mexico, so it's like I was like, that's kind of cool or something. So I just drove over to where it was. I parked the car and I pitched a tent underneath of a tree, and I went and I kind of like lit some candles in my tent, and I like said a little something to the earth, and like and then I laid down and I woke up in a room. I was really scared. Everything was like dark, and I saw 5 figures standing in front of me. They looked like 5-foot tall owls, and one of the owls was perched up on top of the tree that I was underneath.
I'm trying to picture this.
You're in a dark room, it's pitch black.
And there's a tree?
Oh, but there's a tree.
Okay.
There's two owls standing on the sides and one perched on top. And the one perched on top looked at me, and it told me a whole bunch of crazy information. I was so frightened, and I like brought me to my knees. And a part of the information was that like we are here on Earth for a time, and then we're gone, and that's the way it is. And part of that is that we live these lives, and many of us don't really understand what we're doing here or why we're here. But some of us are here to help other people have a better life. And some of us that are here to help people feel better and to help people make it through their life, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And so I took that with me, and I woke up in my tent, and I was like, whoa, that was a crazy dream, and it felt so real. It was really, really strange, and the amount of things that they told me were just so immense that it was overwhelming. I felt really weird when I woke up. I was like tripping out. Everything looked weird, and I was like, oh man, it's the desert. I woke up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and like soaked in sweat, and it was like burning hot, and I packed everything up. I drove all the way to an Airbnb in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and I met my partner, who is now my current wife, but I met her there, and they were with like some friends, and I got to the Airbnb. As soon as my partner saw me, they started crying, and they were like, you look weird, something's wrong with you. And I was like, and I said, no, I'm fine. I just need to take a shower. I was not fine, and I did not tell them about this dream I had. And I went to go take a shower. I took my clothes off, and I had red welts all over my body.
Whoa.
They were like boing, and they were blisters, and they like were like oozing.
Ouch. And
they were all over my body on like all the bad parts. They were in my armpits.
Oh man.
Awful. And I was like, oh no.
I don't look fine.
I'm not okay. And like, I was like, Tiffany, help me. And she's like, what's wrong with you? And she's like crying, and it was crazy. And then like our friends that are at the Airbnb are like, oh my God, what happened to you? And I'm just like, but I felt so crazy, and I felt like just something. And I started looking stuff up on the internet, and it was like the only like poisonous animals live underneath of the trees in the desert, because that's the only place that there's food and water. And I was like, oh man, of course I slept underneath the tree.
Maybe you like got bit by something.
Yeah, I got bit by carpenter ants. I looked up the welts that I had and matched them up, and the amount that I had on my body, they all get on your body at one time, and then they send a signal to each other and attack at once to kill. So in my sleep, I had this really crazy near-death out-of-body experience. I was abducted by like aliens, or maybe I like died, and I saw these like interdimensional owls, and they like told me that I was coming back to Earth, and that I had a mission, and that it was my life's mission from here on out to change, because I'm telling you, I was not Cabbages before all of this.
Wow.
I was a hardened person. Like I had grown up in a hard neighborhood. I've been through all kinds of crazy stuff. I went to the bad kid school when I was little. I did all this stuff, man. And like, I was just not okay. And when all those experiences led up to me getting older, I let them take a hold of me, and I was attached to my past. It was like this dark shadow that was always with me. And it was like these horrible things that happened to me that were not in my control were on my back all the time. And then I had this experience where I just basically died in a tent in the middle of the desert and woke up and was like, I have a life. I am like, and whatever, maybe it was my subconscious mind, maybe it was interdimensional owls, maybe it was the Greys. They told me that I was coming back with a mission. And once the pandemic hit, I was like, Cabbages, this is how I'm gonna heal people. This is how I'm gonna help people and try to like spiritually heal them through during this really hard time, you know? And of course we need compensation for the things that we do. And it's unfortunate that money is what it takes, but you know, we gotta eat food. Cabbages need coleslaw, and coleslaw is not free.
My last question is like, how does somebody employ your services or request your services?
So anybody could DM me on any of the platforms that you see me on. Mm-hmm. If you see me on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, you can DM Cabbages directly, and I'll respond very quickly. And by all means, anyone could contact Cabbages at cabbagestheclown@gmail.com. One word, cabbagestheclown@gmail.com. And Cabbages can make singing telegrams and send them to you through Google, on Google Drive. If you're not into Instagram or some type of platform that you don't want your video to be seen by other people, there's endless possibilities. Cabbages is a clown for everyone.
I'm sure I'll see you soon. So
definitely, it was wonderful talking to you again.
Thank you so much. I feel like I've learned. I was not expecting this. It would be great if this led to an army of clowns.
Oh man, I praise the gods.
The Cabbage Patch. All right, man. Well, have a good night, and I'll see you in the next video, I guess.
Sounds good, dude.
All right. Bye.
Bye.